Howdy, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing the Maker's Challenge video for 2022. If you recall, last year I did a pooping gnome out of various slabs of stone, which turned out pretty cool. And today's video is going to be super simple. I wasn't do like a worry stone or something super small, but instead I came across a really cool piece of Fire Obsidian, and we're going to polish that instead. So let's get right into it. Now I did do some extra shopping for this video. I got a different light for the cabbing machine, because the LEDs don't really like this camera very much, and it just leaves like a black bar going up and down the screen, and I don't want that for this video. So got my apron on so I don't get my shirt too dirty, and we're gonna do some work here. So if you remember, that piece that I showed off in a previous video was a nice round chunk, and the fire layer was up here. I made a few cuts, and this is what we got out of those cuts. This is the top piece we're going to work. Now, it doesn't mean that this piece is entirely out of the game yet, because there are some layers that I like to explore at a later date. So I'm going to save this for a rainy day, put this with everything else. But there's no really decent fire in here. There is a little color right here, where that little layer is, just on the tip of my thumb. But it's not really much to do anything with, so this will go with this in the box. Alright, let's take a look at this piece here. We're going to go ahead and use the hard diamond 180 grit wheel to soften the edges so I don't accidentally cut myself, because obsidian can be very sharp, and don't want any accidents. I'm also looking for any fractures. So there's a fracture right there, so I'm going to have to grind that all the way down to where that fracture's at so it doesn't break out and ruin the piece later on. And then, see here, I do have to take down this top side, and then once I get it down to where I want it, I'm going to kind of dome it. That way I can show off both layers the best I can. This piece right here might be a little bit difficult to work. I might end up losing some of this corner piece. What I could do too is I might take it to the saw just to cut off this piece, because if I work this right here, where that divot's at, if I try to make it level with the rest of the piece, I'm going to end up just grinding through this material right here, and I don't want that. So I think I might just do that really quick. I'm going to make a quick cut out this corner that I'm not going to really need, and then maybe use it later on. Alright, we have that side cut off, so we technically reduce waste, and we can still utilize this piece, so I'll save this for later. So now we're going to focus on this piece entirely. So let's go ahead and start using the 180 grit wheel, start grinding down, and take it one step at a time. So one thing I'm looking out for when I'm doing this kind of work with obsidian, I'm looking out for fractures. So see this little black line right there? That is a internal fracture. Nothing I can avoid. And I noticed that this side also has the fracture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grind down this corner to get rid of that fracture and that weakness in the stone. And hopefully that is the only fracture I come across. I don't see any other issues. I do have some pitting right here that still need to grind down a little bit more. And then see this layer right here, I need to get rid of that layer, because the ultimate goal is this layer underneath and this layer on top. I need to expose this top layer. In order to do that, I need to grind down more to get rid of all this excess, and then grind down at an angle on this side, dome it, allow the light in, and then that way we can see the beautiful colors. You can already see a nice little shine right there already. So it's really hard to pick up on the camera, but there's actually Let's see if we can pick it up at all. There are some impact marks. So when I was using the 180 grit hard diamond wheel and it scratched up the surface, well, there's actually some really, really tiny impact marks we need to get out of the surface before we can actually take it to polish. And so I'm focusing on here on the edge, here on the edge, on this edge, and there's also some spots up here too I need to actually continue to sand down. And so far it's turning out rather nice. Before we go to the next stage, I want to show you what this finished surface should look like. So we got all the scratches out from the previous stage, and I think it looks pretty good to go onto the 600 grit Nova wheel. So there is a reason why I check my work before I go to polish. It allows me to catch anything that I might have missed in between stages, or catch any defects that might have happened in between stages. So I think at some point in the polishing or the sanding stage, I must have hit something. It might be hard to see. Oh my gosh. But there are scratch marks right here, and I can't have that. I'm a perfectionist. This has to look good on my shelf. So what I have to do, unfortunately, I have to go back a stage. I have to go back to the 1200 grit wheel and see if I can get those scratches out, and if I cannot, then I might have to go back to the 600 and go from there. But I'm going to start at the 1200, see if we can get those minute scratches out, and then part of me is torn between just taking it from the 1200 to the cerium oxide wheel, but I want to try one more time from this wheel and then go back to 3000 and see if I get that scratch out. And if I can, that's great. I'm still going to take it to the cerium oxide wheel to get a high gloss finish. But for now, let's get that little defect out. It didn't take much. You can kind of see where I worked specifically on the stone to get those scratches out. And now we're going to go back to 3000 and see if we can buff this out really quick and then take it to polish. With that, we are ready to take it to the cerium oxide wheel. So you can kind of see it still has kind of a cloudy tint to it on the surface. With the cerium oxide wheel, this should have a nice gloss finish. So I'm going to wet this wheel here, and then after that I'm going to get the wheel going, apply the cerium oxide, and then add just a spritz more of water on there, and then we'll start polishing. I like to have the wheel pretty damp for this. Alright, so we're all done with the small project. This is about what it looked like beforehand. You can see a huge difference there. We did have a little bit of loss of material, but that's okay. And we still had this little piece that we cut off, which I can do something at a later date. There's just enough fire in there to do something small. But it's a huge difference. I mean, we got this top piece here, and then we cut that again, and we're left with this. Just look at that flash already. Just look how beautiful that turned out. Now, Fire Obsidian is difficult to photograph and take video of because you need a special light and need a, it's difficult, but still, I'm doing what I can. But let's look at those colors. Let's look at those colors. So vibrant. Worried I might drop this. That would really not be a good day. But gosh, those colors are beautiful. Just beautiful. It's hard not to sit here and just look at this all day. I could have gone down a little bit further here in the top, but I did not want to risk going through the other layer. This was worth it. I was going to save this project for later, but I just could not help myself. Perfect timing. Maker's challenge. Let me know what you think of this piece in the comments down below. And, yeah. Beautiful. Hee hee. Okay. Take 200 because I can't get it right. Anyways, go check out the other content creators and their creations. Click on the hashtag MakersChallenge3. It'll take it to their videos, and I will also have the link to all their channels in the description of this video. So go check them out, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, rock on.